Alright, fam, let's talk about something we've all experienced at some point. That nagging feeling when someone isn't feeling you, even if they never say it to your face. You know what I'm talking about, right? That weird vibe you get from someone, like something's just off. Maybe it's a co-worker who's all smiles in the break room but throws shade your way in meetings, or that friend of a friend who seems to disappear whenever you show up to the party. It's like they're putting on a show, but deep down you can tell they'd rather be anywhere else. Look, I'm not saying we need everyone to love us. That's unrealistic. But it's important to be aware of the subtle signs that someone might be secretly throwing shade your way. Because once you recognize those red flags, you can decide how to deal with it. Do you confront the situation head on, or do you just say screw it and focus your energy on the people who genuinely appreciate you? So today, we're diving deep into the world of secret dislikers. We're talking about those sneaky signs that someone might not be as fond of you as they pretend to be. And trust me, some of these signs are so subtle, you might be missing them completely. Stick around till the end because I'm saving the most overlooked sign for last. Let's do this. Alright, let's kick things off with something we encounter every single day. Smiles. Seems innocent enough, right? But here's the thing, fam. Not all smiles are created equal. You got your genuine smiles, the kind that light up a whole room, and then you got your fake smiles, the kind that barely reach the eyes and scream, I'd rather be getting a root canal right now. So how can you tell the difference? Well, a real, genuine smile engages your entire face, not just your mouth. Think about it. When you're giant, your eyes crinkle, your cheeks lift, your whole face just freaking radiates joy. It's contagious. But a fake smile, it's all about the lips. The corners of their mouth might be turning up, but their eyes are dead giveaways. They'll be blank, empty, like they're staring into the abyss. And the worst part? A fake smile disappears the second they think you're not looking. It's like they flipped a switch and forgot to turn the happy setting back on. So, how can you tell if someone's flashing you a fake smile? Well, first off, pay attention to their eyes. Are they smiling along with their mouth, or are they completely dead inside? Seriously, the eyes don't lie, people. Another dead giveaway, the smile itself will look forced and unnatural. Their lips might be stretched too wide, or the smile might seem tight and uncomfortable. It's like they're physically forcing their face into a socially acceptable expression of joy, but their heart's not in it. And here's another thing to watch out for. Do they only seem to smile when it's absolutely necessary? Like when they're making small talk with you at work, or when other people are around. If their default expression is a permanent frown and they only crack a smile when they feel obligated, that's a major red flag. Now, I'm not saying you should go full on Sherlock Holmes every time someone smiles at you. But if you're getting that gut feeling that their smiles are about as genuine as a $3 bill, there's a simple test you can try. Next time you're interacting with this person, try flashing them a warm, genuine smile yourself. I'm talking about the kind of smile that reaches your eyes and makes you look like you just won the lottery. Pay close attention to their reaction. If they genuinely like you, they'll naturally mirror your smile. It might be a little delayed, but you'll see it in their eyes, that spark of warmth and connection. But if their smile remains strained, forced, or disappears the second you look away, yeah, that's a pretty good indication that they're not being genuine. And hey, here's the thing, not everyone has to like you. That's life. But by learning to spot these fake smiles, you can save yourself a lot of time and energy trying to win over someone who's just not that into you. Alright, moving on to sign number 2, that someone might secretly dislike you. Short and dry conversations. We've all been there, right? You're trying to make conversation with someone, but it feels like you're pulling teeth. Every question is met with a one-word answer, and they make zero effort to keep the conversation flowing. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, cool, fine. It's like they're speaking in Telegram code, only without the historical significance. And let's be real, trying to have a conversation with someone who's giving you nothing but one-word answers is about as enjoyable as watching paint dry. Actually, scratch that. Watching paint dry sounds way more exciting. Here's the thing, when someone genuinely enjoys your company, they'll engage with you. They'll ask questions, share stories, and actually seem interested in what you have to say. But when someone's giving you those short, clipped responses, it's a clear sign that they're not invested in the conversation and would rather be doing literally anything else. Another telltale sign that someone might be faking their enthusiasm: pay attention to their energy levels when they're talking to you. Do they seem bored, distracted, or like they'd rather be swallowing nails than continuing this conversation? Now, I get it. Not everyone's a social butterfly. Some people are naturally more introverted or less talkative than others. But even introverts can hold a conversation when they're genuinely interested in the person they're talking to. So, if you notice that someone consistently seems drained, unenthusiastic, or just plain bored when they're interacting with you, but they light up around other people, yeah, that's a big red flag. It suggests that they're putting in minimal effort with you because they don't value your presence as much as they do others. Look, I'm not saying you should overanalyze every interaction you have, but if you consistently find yourself on the receiving end of short, dry conversations with someone, it's important to acknowledge that dynamic. Don't beat yourself up about it, and definitely don't try to force a connection that's not there. Sometimes people just don't click. Maybe your personalities clash, maybe your senses of humor don't align, or maybe they're just going through something personal that's making them withdrawn. Whatever the reason, it's crucial to remember that you deserve to be around people who genuinely enjoy your company. So, if you're constantly feeling drained or unimportant in someone's presence, it might be time to step back and focus your energy on the relationships that bring you joy and fulfillment. Remember, you teach people how to treat you, and you deserve to be treated with respect, kindness, and genuine engagement. Alright, beautiful bastards, let's talk about eye contact, or in this case, the lack thereof. We all know eye contact is key to a good conversation, right? It shows you are engaged, interested, maybe even a little bit turned on. I'm kidding, or am I? But seriously, when someone consistently avoids your gaze, it's a major red flag. Like, are they looking at something more interesting behind me? Because I put a lot of effort into this backdrop, people. But I digress. Avoiding eye contact can be a sneaky sign someone's just not feeling the love. Maybe they're uncomfortable around you. Maybe they straight up dislike you. Whatever the reason, it's not exactly a ringing endorsement of your sparkling personality. So, how do you know if someone's intentionally dodging your gaze or just really interested in the fascinating patterns on the ceiling? Let's break it down, fam. First things first, pay attention to their phone habits. Are they suddenly glued to their screen the second you strike up a conversation? Do they develop a newfound fascination with their shoelaces when you're around? That's not a good sign, my friends. And speaking of signs, let's talk about group settings. Ever notice how some people can effortlessly work a room, making eye contact with everyone? Then there's that one person who somehow manages to avoid your gaze, like you're offering them pineapple on their pizza. Yeah, that's not a coincidence. Another giveaway, excessive blinking or restlessness. Look, we all get a little fidgety sometimes, but if someone looks like they're about to jump out of their skin whenever you're near, they might be sending you a not so subtle message. And let's not forget about the classic look anywhere but at you move. They'll scan the room, examine their fingernails, maybe even try to decipher ancient hieroglyphics on the wall. Anything to avoid locking eyes with you? Okay, so you've determined that yes, this person is actively trying to win a staring contest with literally anything other than your face. Now what? Well, you could always challenge them to a duel. Just kidding. In all seriousness, the best thing you can do is avoid forcing it. Don't try to pin them down with your gaze like you're trying to hypnotize them. Just give them their space and see if things naturally warm up over time. Remember, constantly trying to force interaction with someone who clearly doesn't want it is a recipe for disaster. It's like trying to pet a hissing cat. It's only going to end badly. Instead, focus your energy on the people who genuinely want to be around you. You know, the ones who aren't afraid to make eye contact and actually engage in a meaningful conversation. Because at the end of the day, life's too short to chase after people who would rather stare at a wall than look you in the eye. Alright, beautiful bastards, let's talk about something we've all experienced at some point. The dreaded feeling of being left out. You know, that sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize everyone's in on a joke you don't get, or they're planning an epic night out without you. It's like being the last kid picked for dodgeball, except instead of a red rubber ball, you're dodging feelings of rejection and self-doubt. And trust me, those hurt way more. Now, sometimes being excluded is just a case of bad timing or forgetfulness, but other times it's a deliberate sign that someone's just not that into you. And that, my friends, is a tough pill to swallow. So how do you know if you're being intentionally excluded or if you just missed the memo about the secret pizza party? Let's dive into the signs. One of the most obvious signs is the dreaded inside joke. You know, that moment when everyone bursts into laughter and you're left standing there like, what did I miss? It's like they're speaking a secret language you're not privy to, and it can make you feel like a total outsider. Then there's the classic event planning without you maneuver. You overhear snippets of conversation about a concert, a party, a trip to the zoo, whatever, and you realize with a sinking heart that you haven't been invited. And when you casually inquire about it, you're met with vague excuses or awkward silence. Oh, and let's not forget about the art of topic changing. You join a conversation eager to share your thoughts and opinions, only to have the subject abruptly shift the second you open your mouth. It's like they have a sixth sense for when you're about to speak, and they're determined to shut it down before you can even utter a word. These, my friends, are not coincidences. These are calculated moves designed to keep you at arm's length, to remind you that you're not really part of the inner circle. So what do you do when you find yourself on the outside looking in? First and foremost, don't chase after them. Don't try to force your way into a group that clearly doesn't want you there. Remember, you deserve to be around people who value your company, who appreciate your unique brand of weirdness. Don't waste your time and energy on people who make you feel like you're not good enough. Instead, focus on building relationships with people who genuinely care about you. Seek out like-minded individuals who share your interests, your values, your sense of humor. Trust me, they're out there, and they're just as eager to find their tribe as you are. Because at the end of the day, life's too short to surround yourself with people who make you feel small. You deserve to shine, beautiful bastards. And you'll never do that if you're constantly dimming your light to fit in with the wrong crowd. Alright, beautiful bastards, let's talk about the subtle art of body language. Because sometimes actions speak louder than words, especially when it comes to figuring out if someone secretly dislikes you. You see, our bodies have a funny way of betraying our true feelings, even when we try our best to keep them under wraps. It's like our subconscious is screaming, "Get me out of here," while our mouths are politely saying, "Lovely to see you." So, if you're picking up on some negative vibes from someone, don't ignore them. Pay attention to those non-verbal cues, because they might just reveal what their words are trying to hide. Let's decode some of those telltale signs, shall we? First up, let's talk about personal space. You know how good it feels to be near someone you're really drawn to, how their presence just seems to pull you in. Well, the opposite is also true. If someone subtly leans away from you, like you've got a bad case of the funk, it's a pretty clear sign they'd rather be somewhere else. Then there's the classic closed-off posture. Crossed arms, tight lips, maybe even a little eye roll thrown in for good measure. It's like their body is building a wall to keep you out, brick by metaphorical brick. And let's not forget about the sudden mood change. You walk into a room feeling like $1,000,000, ready to spread some cheer, and suddenly the atmosphere takes a nosedive. Conversations go silent, smiles disappear, and you can practically feel the air thicken with awkward tension. Yeah, that's not a coincidence, my friends. These subtle shifts in energy and body language speak volumes. They're telling you, loud and clear, that your presence isn't exactly welcome. So what do you do when you're picking up on these negative vibes? Well, the first step is to trust your gut. We've all got that internal alarm system that goes off when something feels off. Don't ignore it. If someone's body language screams stay away, then give them their space. You don't need to subject yourself to that kind of negativity. Remember, you deserve to be around people who make you feel good, people who light up when they see you, People whose body language screams, "Come closer, friend." And if someone's constantly sending you the opposite message, then it might be time to reevaluate that relationship. Because life's too short to surround yourself with people who make you feel drained and unwelcome. Alright, let's talk about the classic "I'm too busy" excuse. You know, when someone's constantly dodging your invites with the "my schedule's just slammed." We've all been there, right? But here's the thing, sometimes it's not about being busy, it's about priorities. And if someone's constantly too swamped to hang out with you, well, it might be time for a reality check. Look, I get it, life gets hectic. We're all juggling a million things. But think about it, when you genuinely want to make time for someone, you do, right? You move things around, you sacrifice a little sleep, you make it happen. So if someone's constantly hitting you with the busy excuse, it might be a sign they're just not that into spending time with you. So how can you tell if someone's genuinely swamped or just giving you the brush off? Well, there are a few telltale signs. First, pay attention to their consistency. Are they always canceling plans last minute, but then you see them out and about with other people on social media? Interesting. Another red flag is if they never seem to initiate any hangouts or conversations. It's always you reaching out, always you trying to make plans. And when you do manage to lock something down, they're quick to cancel or reschedule at the last minute. It's like they're allergic to committing to spending time with you. So what do you do when someone's constantly too busy for you? Honestly, stop chasing them. Seriously, life's too short to be someone's last priority. If they wanted to make time for you, they would. Don't waste your energy trying to convince someone of your worth. Instead, shift your focus to the people who genuinely value your presence. The ones who are excited to hang out, who initiate plans, who make you feel good about yourself. You deserve that kind of positive energy in your life. Okay, let's dive into the wonderful world of passive aggression. You know, those subtle digs and backhanded compliments that leave you feeling like you just stepped on a Lego? Yeah, those. Passive aggression is basically the language of someone who secretly dislikes you but doesn't have the guts to be direct about it. It's all about veiled insults and indirect communication. Think of it like this, they're trying to stick a pin in your balloon without actually popping it. They want to get their annoyance across, but they're too afraid of confrontation to just say what's on their mind. So, what are some classic examples of passive-aggressive behavior? Oh, we've got a whole highlight reel for you. One of my favorites is the backhanded compliment. You know, like, wow, you actually look nice today. Or, that's an interesting choice of outfit with a raised eyebrow. Another classic is sarcasm disguised as humor. They'll say something rude or hurtful, but then they'll laugh it off like, oh, just kidding, you know I love you, except you don't really buy it, do you? And then there's the silent treatment, which is like the passive-aggressive grand finale. They'll just ignore you completely, giving you the cold shoulder and acting like you don't even exist. It's like they're trying to punish you without actually having to confront you. So how do you deal with these passive-aggressive ninjas? Well, you've got a couple of options. One approach is to call them out on their behavior, but do it politely. For example, you could say something like, "Hey, that comment came off a little harsh. Is everything okay?" Another option is to just distance yourself from their negative energy. Life's too short to be around people who make you feel bad about yourself, even if they're doing it subtly. Surround yourself with positive, supportive people who lift you up instead of dragging you down. So, there you have it, 7 signs someone might secretly dislike you. Now, before you go full-on detective mode on all your friends and co-workers, remember, sometimes these signs can be misleading. Maybe someone's just having a bad day, or maybe they're socially awkward and don't realize how their behavior is coming across. The key is to look for patterns. Are these signs happening consistently, or is it just a one-off thing? If you're constantly feeling judged, excluded, or disrespected, then it might be time to reevaluate that relationship. But most importantly, remember that you deserve to be surrounded by people who genuinely care about you and make you feel good about yourself. So, if someone's constantly giving you those negative vibes, don't be afraid to walk away and focus on the relationships that bring you joy. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced any of these signs? What's the most passive-aggressive thing someone's ever said to you? Drop your stories in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights. See you in the next video.